Trivium is one of the leading bands when it comes to the metalcore genre. They've been around for 25 years now and have managed to grow one of the strongest fan bases in the world of heavy metal. They've sold over 1 million albums worldwide, headline festivals, and were even nominated for a Grammy in 2019 for the best metal performance. However, I've been quite open, and it's been on record for a while now that I personally do not like this band. Why? Yeah, about that. So yes, up until now, I have not enjoyed Trivium's music. Every time I tried to get into them over the last few years, they kind of fell a little flat for me, so I guess in the end, I just gave up. However, since I started making content and I've been doing a lot of Bullet of My Valentine material on my channel, I've had so many comments saying, "How can you not like Bullet of My Valentine and Trivium? They're exactly the same!" Well, I do have my reasons, and I can see why a lot of fans would say that. However, my argument has always been just because they share some of the same elements, such as pedal point riffs, guitar solos, aggressive vocals, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna like them. So, I've given you guys the opportunity to pull me round to this band and prove me otherwise. I asked you guys to pick a Trivium song for me to listen to from cold and react to, and you guys have chosen the song Rain from the Ascendancy album. So that's the song we're going to be digging into today, and who knows, if this one falls flat for me, maybe I'll give you guys another chance. I guess we're starting at the beginning here with Ascendancy, and I'm sure that their back catalogue is pretty diverse, so surely there must be something in there for me, right? Okay, so here we go. This is your chance to turn your boy Nihilist here into a die-hard Trivium fan. This is Rain by Trivium. Let's get into it. Okay, so coming right out of the gate with the good old Mr. Phrygian D on the riff right there. So Phrygian dominant. I think these guys are tuned to a drop D, right? So you've got something like that, right? So it's the good old Phrygian dominant scale right there. It's got the raised third in there, which is kind of what makes it sound super sort of dark. And if you guys want to learn more about that scale, check out my Patreon page. I did a quick lesson on it a little while ago. So that's really strong coming out the gate. And I will say I really respect these guys for just how tight they are as rhythm guitar players. I guess I was always sort of maybe intimidated by this band a little bit when it comes to the rhythm side, because Matt Heffy is a super tight rhythm guitar player when it comes to all the riffs like that. Ferocious. Okay, so again, the whole parallel with Bullet of My Valentine, you know, if this is one of the earlier tracks on the record, think about like on the Poison, Her Voice Resides, they come like straight out of the gate with the riff. It's fast, it's ferocious. So yeah, you know, they, again, like I said earlier, they've got similar elements, but we'll get to where my sort of gripes are with this band. But yeah, that's a really good, strong sort of start, and it's a good riff. Okay, so the left guitar's dropped. Okay. So the riff is pretty much the same, right? But the drums have come down into more of like a stompy groove, which is cool. It's given the song a little bit more dimension, I guess, rather than just being straight up you know, an assault on the ears. You know, you can sort of bounce and you can nod your head to that, right? But it's cool how the drums just completely changed the feel of the riff. The riff pretty much remains the same, but the drums have given it that sort of head nod and groove, right? So now we have my main gripe with this band, which is the vocals. Matt Heffy, let's keep going. Okay, so the vocals, this has always been my problem with Trivium. There's just something lacking, and I'm not hearing the same sort of... I mean, he's angry. That's for sure. You know, I can hear he's absolutely like pouring it out there. And I know at one point maybe he stopped screaming at some point. maybe did some damage to his vocal cords, and then he learned to scream properly. And then my issue with that was everything that I heard going forward from there. When I have heard stuff, it sort of sounds very technique driven. Oh, you know, you can sort of hear him pushing it from the diaphragm, and it's not like somebody who's absolutely sort of like belting out, which is sort of what he's doing here, I guess. But it's not got the same. To me, it just kind of sounds like we've got these songs, we've got the riffs, we've got all the elements. We need vocals. Okay, I'll try my best. It just doesn't sound very I don't know. It's not like, it doesn't make me feel the same way as a Matt Tuck or a Corey Taylor or a, God forbid, Danny Worsnott back in the day. You know, where everything was just so aggressive. The other thing I'll pick up on there. Let me just go back a little bit. Yeah, so we've got, there's the classic metalcore trope right there, the open 8/5 thing. You know, with the other guitar doing like that sort of a riff, pedal point riff on the other side. Okay, so here's sort of another little gripe that I've got here. For the chorus, if indeed this is the chorus, and this is sort of where the split with Bullet for My Valentine and Trivium are for me. We've heard all this ferocious, intense music up to this point, but for me, the chorus kind of just goes down a notch, and I know it's kind of majoring on that sort of... those sort of like spooky intervals there with the octaves, but kind of goes down, if that makes sense. With Bullet for My Valentine, you know, and I'm not saying one's better than the other here, but the thing that appealed to me about Bullet is there was, you know, this intense music, but when the chorus hits, it pops. And, you know, it explodes. And for me, Bullet for My Valentine have always been stronger in that department because they've always just had the big choruses. Okay, so yeah, as far as the chorus goes in terms of like chords and stuff, you know, you got the root, the minor second, which is dark, it keeps with the Phrygian theme. And then you've got more sort of traditional chords up here, the 8s and 7s that, you know. And I think it ends on the, what is it, the 8 to the 10, right, which is very traditional metalcore. Love that little that little sort of lead line there. Again, it's very Phrygian dominant. Heavenant, you've got the minor 6 there, which is very dark sounding, again blended in with the Phrygian notes. So they've already captured the vibe here. So yeah, we've got more of a traditional metalcore riff here, haven't we? You know, you got the one guitar, like I mentioned earlier, doing the opens, 8s and 5s, and then you've got the sort of pedal points in the middle. Yeah, it's very cool. I guess if I'd have heard this when I was, you know, 14 or something, I'd have been like, oh, wow. But we've heard, you know, 5s, 8s, and 7s, you know, from all these different bands, you know, so you start to, I don't know, sort of get a bit null to it, the more you hear it. There's more of the good old metalcore right there. Something like that. Yeah, very cool. And then back to that chorus. So the clean vocals here aren't that bad. And I get that they're trying to go for that dynamic of heavy verses and clean choruses, which has always been the metalcore genre, right? His clean vocals here aren't that offensive to me. I don't mind it, or maybe I'm just getting used to the sound of Trivium. But again, they don't have that soaring thing, you know, that other bands have had, where when they hit the chorus in the metalcore genre, you know, it's very from here, you know, it's more coming from the old school Ronnie James Dio school of things, I guess, you know, more sort of like traditional metal bands. But yeah, vocally, it just doesn't, I don't hear it and go, oh, he's one of the greatest metal vocalists of all time. I know this is the first album and stuff like that, but just not my cup of tea. And unfortunately for me, a vocalist will massively turn me on or off a band. That's usually the selling point for me, because like we said, these 5, 7, 8 riffs, you know, we've heard them in all sorts of different ways, back to front, forwards and backwards, right? So, you know, if I'm going to hear that same style of things and, you know, opens and ones and stuff like that, I want the vocals to be the selling point over the top of this stuff that but the industry's kind of saturated with at this point. Okay, something's happening. And so I switched over to more of a minor natural kind of thing. Something like that with the octave chords. So now we're here talking about a band that I don't like. I want to take a quick minute to mention a band that I do like, and that is Bullet for My Valentine. That's it, guys. You've made it to the plugs part of the video. So I want to take a moment to mention my Bullet for My Valentine guitar lesson library. If you've fallen prey to bad Bullet for My Valentine tabs in the past and there's a little bit of confusion there and you want to learn their songs properly, head over to my Bullet for My Valentine guitar lesson library, which is over on my Patreon page. This is my ever-growing series of Bullet for My Valentine guitar lessons where I break down all their songs and teach you all the guitar parts. Members of the library can also request what songs I do, so if you head on over there and you don't see the song that you want to learn, get yourself signed up, put your request in, and you'll get full priority on what I do. The lessons are also available over on my Patreon shop, so if you don't want to sign up for a monthly and you just want the one lesson, head over to the shop and you can buy them outright. Members of the library also get access to the isolated stems for each track as well, so you can maybe make your own covers, so that's guitars, bass, drums, and vocals. And then lastly, members also have access to my quick lesson series, which are more general guitar lessons where I show my love of guitar theory and other things. So yeah, this is 100% the best way that you guys can support me, other than hitting the like button and subscribing. So if you want some Bullet for My Valentine guitar lessons which are in-depth and as accurate as I can possibly get them, head over to the Bullet for My Valentine guitar lesson library and see what's over there. Okay, first bit of lead guitar. Okay, this is good. Okay, who doesn't like I mean, who doesn't like stuff like that? And I guess structurally, you know, this is kind of similar to Her Voice Resides in a way, you know, with like but by Bullet for My Valentine, it's got like the little interludes and stuff like that, and like a very sort of kind of like a little jammy riff going on with a bit of a bop with the so who doesn't like that, right? That's cool. And there's a cool little lead thing over the top of it. I did want to point something else out as well. Let's keep going. Yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to mention as well. So, you know, the majority of the song has been in this Phrygian dominant kind of sort of realm. And you know, if you're gonna do like a long song like this with lots of riffs, you know, rather than regurgitating the idea round and round, it's an intelligent decision to maybe, you know, not necessarily change the key per se, but change the overall tonality of the minor notes that you're using. So again, rather than going for the old they've switched out for something that's a little bit more minor natural now. So it's given the song a different mood and a different taste and flavor at this point. So that's a great idea. It takes you on a journey. We started off in sort of the pyramids, you know what I mean? And, you know, sort of tone and flavor wise with all that dark exotic scales going on, and now we've got something which is a little bit more familiar to the ear, I guess you could say, which is the minor natural Aeolian kind of thing, which I guess is the formula for all-out metalcore music, right? So it's a good blend. It's a good idea for your own songwriting as well. You know, don't have to necessarily change the key in terms of steps and stuff like that, but just think about different note choice. So that's intelligent writing right there.
I know what I must do.
Yeah, that's the classic. So the first ones are sort of tight chugs, and then what they do is they start to... So there you go. We've heard this. They start to let the chugs ring out after that's been round to make things heavier, I guess you could say. Classic Bullet for My Valentine formula right there. So when you guys have been saying, how can you not like how can you not like Trivium and like Bullet for My Valentine? They do the same things. We're getting to the root of it now. Number one, it's the vocals, okay? They are doing the same things. I think I prefer Bullet for My Valentine's all-out riffs as well, but I do appreciate this. Okay, let's keep going. Good vocals. There's octave chords as well. Sort of reminds me of the way this is produced here. Kind of reminds me of like the Pantera school of things, where, you know, it'd only be Dime's guitar, so when he would go and do a guitar solo, it was generally no rhythm track. And you can really hear the bass starting to poke through and start to carry everything against the kicks, which I like a lot. I love what they've done there. With the octave chords really just sort of like taking over the guitar register, and the bass is just tukka, carrying in the lower register right there. I like how the bass is poking through. The only thing I will say about this album in particular, or what I'm hearing from it, is the production isn't quite as shiny as something like The Poison, I guess you could say, because these two albums seem to go in hand with one another. I do prefer the all-out sound on The Poison. I feel it's a lot more refined. So I think that's one thing holding this back a little bit as well. The vocals, even though they're aggressive, they don't feel present and huge. It sounds like this wall of guitars and instrumentation, and there's just very little in the dynamic. I'm not a vocalist, and I've never recorded vocals and stuff, so maybe you guys can tell me, but you know, it feels like the vocal production here could have been a little bit bigger. It feels like he's almost fighting the music to get his point across, if that makes sense. And that's just purely in the recording, you know. Guitar solo. Should I try out? And who is this? Is this Corey or is it Matt? You guys tell me down in the comments. I like how he's kind of sort of like pinching his way into those notes. Obviously there's a bit of wah in there as well, I think, but you know, what could be a very sort of a Sid boring series of notes, you know, he's giving it some character with the pinches. Only a little bit of pinch, but just enough to get a bit of definition. If indeed those are the notes. Harmonies. Oh. Okay, so a very that guitar solo. I can't be too harsh here. This is like a band's early work. I'm sure they've got better. I'm sure the production has got a lot better. You know, one thing that is undeniable, the skill set in the rhythm guitar department is not lacking in any way, shape, or form. I could probably never keep up with Matt Heffy myself. You know, so all props, you know, to the band in that department. They can clearly play their instruments, but that guitar solo is a little bit lackluster for me. After it comes out, the melodic thing, let me check that out again. Okay, the big ugly metalcore chord coming in right there. Something like that. The dissonance of the two sort of notes that are a semitone apart being clashed against each other. Yeah, that's a cool riff. So something like that. Cool. Yeah, that's okay. There it is. And we're ending on a hang, and we're fading it out, right? Yeah. Right. I'm very conscious here that there's two types of reaction videos. The first type is where somebody goes, we're going to be reacting to this. And then they watch it and they talk over the entire thing and they go, well, hit the like button and see you next time. Or there's the guys who kind of stop it in the middle and, you know, start to dissect things right the way through the songs. And sometimes I know that annoys people, but today I really did want to stop it in real time and just give my sort of thoughts as they were coming to me rather than trying to have to think back over what I've heard. As a solid metalcore song, I can't, you know, I can't lie. This is a good song. And I'll also say, you know, this is early in the band's career, right? So it's humble beginnings. And, you know, regardless of my feelings about this band, you know, it's you try and do better. Do you know what I mean? On your debut. I think this is their first one, or either that or it's the first one of note, which sort of, you know, gave them the sort of trajectory into bigger things. So for me, it's like, you know, you try and do better on your first album or second album, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's just like not many people would be able to do that. And the writing is there, you know, the melodic information is there. I get why people like it. Personally, this has not been enough to bring me around and go, oh my God, I'm going to go and put the Ascendancy album on, because I'm sure the rest of it, you know, is in a similar vein to that. I know this album is very special to certain people, and I do not want to sit here trying to tear it apart. There is one other song on the album that has a really great riff, which is that that thing, so you guys will be able to name that one for me. I think that's a really good riff on the album, but I don't think I've heard too much else off of it. I guess the case in point here is, yes, I'm still not a big Trivium fan, but this was not enough to make me go, oh my, let me take my cans off here. I can't listen to this. Stop the video. Turn it off. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, I'll listen to it. I'll butt my head to it. Do you know what I mean? But it just feels like humble beginnings for a band finding their way, you know, and starting off their career. So I would be interested for you guys now to pick something else. Do you want to see another? Do you want to see another video like this? I've not done a reaction video in a long time because it hasn't really been fun for me, just reacting to random stuff, but the whole Trivium thing and me not liking them and people asking me to do covers or whatever has been going on for a little while now. So if you guys really want to try and get me into this band, feel free to leave your comment down below. Maybe I'll open up another community post as well, where you guys can request what song I do next. But I'd be interested to see something from a different album, maybe something in the middle of their career, or peak Trivium. And I know some people will consider this to be peak Trivium, but to me, this just kind of sounds like the beginning. In terms of production and stuff like that, you can tell it's an early record. I want to hear all out what is their best slammer of a song, right? And Don't Pick in Waves, because I've heard that song. This song was better than in Waves anyway. So Don't Pick in Waves, because I know about it. Don't pick Gunshot, because I know about it. But anything else is absolutely fair game. Leave your suggestion down below in the comments. I'll be doing this on my Instagram page stories as well, so as many people as possible can put their vote in and we can carry on with this journey. But if you can try and keep it to one song per person as well, it'll just make things a lot easier. So yeah, guys, get voting. What's the next song we're going to look at on this Trivium journey that we're about to embark on? So I'm not 100% flipped over to being a diehard Trivium fan yet, although I do appreciate what they've done musically and for the metalcore scene as a whole. However, you guys can change all that by leaving a Trivium song request below, which you think is going to convert me over to being a diehard Trivium fan. There you go, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much if you've made it this far in, and until next time, I will see you all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.